does, because I know that it takes a lot out of his body, but it always looks so much fun. So I'm so excited for you guys to get to meet Rob tonight. And Rob, I have a lot of questions for you from people on our team, but I thought the most important thing is for them to hear what got you started with the Thrive experience and why you decided that you and Elise should go into business together with this company.
Well, thanks for the kind introduction. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody on here. So what got me into the Thrive experience, I think, you nailed it, Blair, when you said that you and I both saw changes in Elise. And man, that's so true. I mean, we think back to what got us started, and for most of us, it's our own Thrive experience, right? It's the experience that we had when we first tried the products. Really, for me and for you and for a lot of people, I think it was seeing how my wife did on the products and how much better she was feeling. So yeah, that was the real impetus for me to at least give the products a look and give them a shot. I tried the full 8-week experience before I decided that I was going to jump on board as a promoter. Although I can tell you I knew well before that that the products were something different and something special. A week or so into my Thrive experience, I was noticing things that I hadn't noticed in 20 years of other supplements and supplement regimens that I had tried. So really a pretty profound difference. Getting to know the products, getting to know the co-CEOs, Jason and Paul, and just learning what their goal was for the products, what their goal was for the company, and how it was different, and how they were really emphasizing quality over anything else. It just really gave me the confidence that I needed personally to step up and represent the brand. Best decision I ever made in my adult life, I would say, besides marrying my wife. As it has for you, Blair, being associated with this company has totally changed the trajectory of our life. You mentioned that I was able to retire from medicine, which is true. I still work in medicine, as Blair said, in functional medicine, but it's a passion project. I don't need to work in a full-time job in medicine anymore because of the opportunity of the Thrive experience. So truly, we feel very blessed. So many amazing experiences have come our way as a result of being in this company, but even more so, lots and lots of people. Blair and your team in general, Blair, has just been, chief among everybody. We're so glad to have partnered with you and to be on this road together. It's been awesome. So I'm really happy to know that you're doing better, by the way.
Thanks, Rob.
That's great news.
I'm so happy. Yeah, it's a crazy 5 months, but I will tell you guys, my doctors, a lot of you guys know this, but my doctor wouldn't let me take the capsules because he called them too good. He was like, they're going to actually help your cells, and when you're going through chemo, you need to kill your cells. So that just should make all of you guys feel really proud to be partnered with this company. And I did get to take the lifestyle mix, and the Black Label was the only DFT I was allowed to take during chemo. And I will tell you guys, on those days where I felt the crappiest, sometimes 2 lifestyle mix was the only thing that made me feel good. So I'm so thankful for the Thrive experience. So you ready for these questions, Rob? I know you're used
a couple comments first. First of all, I have also heard chemotherapy doctors say that they do not want people taking the capsules. So again, that is a testament. And then the question, why the Black Label? Why was that the only one you were allowed to take?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So he said he liked that it had the 5-HTP in it and thought that it would help me when I didn't feel good during chemo. And he also really liked that it had B12 in it, but a small amount. So he was really excited about that and was like, I feel like, they don't want you taking like 1,000 milligrams of anything. So he's like, that small amount is just enough where I can say yes to you. He's like, usually I just tell people to go to CVS and get a multivitamin. I'm like, no, don't send them there.
Well, that's interesting. For those of you who don't know what 5-HTP is, it is a supplement ingredient that's found in the Black and White Label. Basically what it is it boosts your serotonin. It's like a natural SSRI, natural antidepressant. And it's one that in functional medicine, I treat people with all the time, especially for people who have seasonal affective disorder. I live in Montana, so the sun doesn't shine. Well, it shines here, but it's not warm, it's not penetrating, and we're not out there with our shirts off during the wintertime, so we have a lot of cold weather. We're indoors a lot more. Even though we're active, we're covered up when we're outside. just due to the cold. So that's something that I take all winter long. I don't take it in the summertime, but it's a great ingredient, I think, in the mix of the black and white label. So yes, I am ready for your questions. Bring.
Right. Awesome. So excited. Okay. Well, we've had a lot of people sending questions. So I it's also in tech. Oh, I didn't realize that. So it's
I didn't either, although I haven't tried it yet.
Oh my gosh, Rob, you're going to love it. It's unbelievable. You guys, if you guys drop in the comments what it's done for you, those of you that have been on it for the last few days, I think most of us, it's only been a few days now, but I am absolutely loving it. So I just told Ryan about it this morning, right? People are saying in there what they love. All right. First question is, I know that when you first started on the Thrive experience, Rob, one of the things that you and I talked about was that you were actually in the middle of producing your own vitamin supplement line. So what made you decide to stop doing that and instead get on the Thrive experience?
Well, so they weren't necessarily in the same industry. So, I mean, obviously the same supplement industry, but what I was formulating at the time was related to orthopedics. So I was a former orthopedic surgeon. And so I had something worked up that was going to be basically for surgical patients. And quite frankly, I mean, it's very expensive. It's very expensive to do supplement formulation. It takes a lot of work. There's a lot of moving parts, and I was spending, my full days at work and then trying to make calls, kind of like I was building my Thrive business. But it was going to cost me a whole lot of money. And all of a sudden I saw the income potential of aligning myself with an existing supplement company who was already doing all this hard work. And I just realized that, I'm basically creating myself another job here. Whereas there's no guaranteed income potential. And not that there is with Thrive guaranteed, but there's a guaranteed opportunity, right, that you can take advantage of if you choose to. And I just saw that it was going to be a lot easier to become productive and profitable being a member, promoter with Lavelle a lot more quickly than it was to build my own company, which was going to be quite expensive to start and require hours and hours and hours and probably more like years of work.
Absolutely. I always love telling people that it's zero cost, right? It's zero cost and you can literally make money immediately. Unbelievable. Right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And I mean, I know that, share a little bit of that story, Rob, about how when you came back from a conference and Elise had been on the products and the huge difference that you saw in her. Because I'm not sure a lot of the new people have heard Elise's story, but I feel like that's part of both of your stories. And that was like really where I started paying attention when she told me that.
Yeah. Well, the conference you're mentioning, I went to a recertification conference to keep my medical license current. And she was basically embarrassed to tell me, because she'd been trying some other vitamin companies, supplement companies, and she was embarrassed to tell me that she had tried a new one. She had not told me that she talked to Sheila and Maria, and she basically started taking it sort of on the sly after I left. But the difference that I saw in the 5 days that I was gone for this conference and when I came back was pretty profound. When I got back, or when I left, she was emotional. I mean, partly because we had 2 small children at the time. I was leaving for 5 days. She was kind of in charge of everything. But also we were in the middle of like a deep, dark, like one of the snowiest winters on record in Montana ever. And she was just feeling that seasonal affective disorder. She was, not in her best place, tired, wasn't sleeping well, up with kids, and just didn't really feel like she had much energy or motivation. That was the picture when I left. When I came home, I was expecting sort of destruction in the house and, just whatever the kids were going to do, they were going to do. And I was probably going to have to deal with it all when I got back. But what I saw was the house was clean. She had dinner on the table, which was a couple things that were unlike her. She just had energy and she was beaming. And I thought, whoa, what's gotten into you? And, so at dinner that night, she told me that she had started the Thrive experience. And I was, sort of inclined to shake my head, roll my eyes, whatever. But I couldn't deny what I was seeing, what was in front of me. And that was the fact that she was just a changed person. She had more energy. She was more outgoing. She was herself again, basically, is what I found. So, that was really what inspired me to give the products a good look. And I literally sat down and went through every single, there were only 3 products at the time, you know, capsule shake and DFT. I don't even know if the DFT was out then, actually.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was, yeah. But I went line by line, looked up every ingredient that I wasn't already familiar with, and wrote out copious notes. And I said, you know, this is a great formulation. And really, when you talk about the word formulation or the concept of formulation, it's not just throwing in vitamin A, vitamin C, you know, all these different things. There's a lot more that goes to it. You have to really look at how certain substances will interact with one another, the amounts that they're going to be present in, and then all these other kind of confounding things that you're going to add. And the effect you're going for is synergism, which, if you guys have been in the company for a while, you've heard Paul and Jason talk about that. You know, they were going for synergism, meaning the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So the end effect is, you know, something sort of magical almost. And that's what I saw. I just could tell right away, having been in fitness, nutrition, sports medicine, these guys knew what they were doing. They were putting together something really powerful and impactful.
Totally agree. Love that. All right. So one of the questions that we got from Bridget was, we really feel Thrive. A lot of us feel Thrive strongly. So how do you handle when a customer who's tried it and seems to be using it correctly still is not getting results?
Yeah. Of course, everyone hears about the day one thrivers, or they want to be, you know, a day one thriver. But the fact of the matter is, we're all different, genetically, chemically, biochemically. The makeup of our bodies is different. The way that we process certain vitamins, minerals, cofactors, all this stuff. The way that we break down things, there are the enzymes that are present or absent in our body. They're all different. So everyone's going to have a slightly different reaction. I would say overall, most people notice something right away. But I think it's, for me, all along, it's been an education piece, Blair. When I have someone who's new to the products, I always educate them ahead of time. I just say, look, you know, you may feel something right away, but you may not. And the goal here is to create a habit, first of all. That's why it's a, you know, 8-week experience. Because I guarantee you, even if you don't feel something in the first day or the first week, if you stick with this, you are going to feel something. So there's a lot of different factors there. Like I said, the genetic differences within us. Another big one that people don't often think about is our microbiome. So there are prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes in the lifestyle shake mix. All these things help us to assimilate food better, metabolize it, break it down, and take it up into usable forms for our body. But probably the biggest one of those is the microbiome. So it's the bacteria that live in our guts. We all have, based on our genetics, but also our diet, our activity level, our exposure to certain toxins, our exposure to antibiotics, lots of different things. We have different makeups of bacteria in our gut. And so that's usually one of those things where if you see a delayed reaction, it's because people are killing the unhelpful, non-beneficial, sometimes harmful bacteria in their gut, and they're repopulating with the beneficial ones that are in the lifestyle mix. And sometimes, on that note, people can even feel worse for a short period of time as their body is adjusting, because as those bacteria in your gut die off, the bad ones that we don't want, they release toxins, and that can make you feel anything from, you know, a little bit of gas or bloating to like sometimes sick. But that's a temporary thing. And so again, that's an education piece where I think you just really have to tell people what to expect. And while we're on the topic of expectations, I always ask people, you know, what are you hoping for from taking the Thrive Experience products? What are your goals? Because if you have someone who has unrealistic expectations, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds this month, you know, or whatever, then you really want to just temper those and say, well, you know, that's not realistic. But what we can do is we can get you more energy. We can help you to feel better so that you want to work out. We can help stimulate your metabolism. We can help decrease your appetite. We can give you mental clarity. We can do all these things and improve your immune system. And those things together will help you lose the weight you're after, but it's not going to happen in 30 days, right? It's not going to happen in X amount of time, or you're not going to lose X amount of pounds. So it just has to be realistic.
Yeah, I love that you said that. I'll never forget you might remember this, Robert, you might not, but Brendan Lohr, like he felt it. I want to say it was like the end of the first month, but Julie, his wife, didn't feel it until like the end of her second month. So if he had given up before the 8 weeks was completely over, she wouldn't have felt as great as I feel like it was literally the last week of the second month that she was like, okay, now I do feel it. Like I actually have energy. I'm not napping every day. And it was incredible. So yeah, you gotta tweak people. So what if somebody is having kind of a little bit of detox or rough experience? What are some of the things that you might say to them or help them best to get through that part?
That's a great question. I always just recommend that they don't give up hope. Again, some people sort of before they start to feel better, they'll feel a little worse, or there may even be a little up and down. So you have to kind of play a little doctor here, right? Not literally, but I try to troubleshoot people and find out, based on their symptoms. And I have a troubleshooting guide. I don't know if that's still floating around somewhere, but I can send it to you, Blair. You can disperse it. So basically it talks about if someone's having this symptom, it's most likely from this. So, a lot of the GI type symptoms that people may have, that's going to be from the lifestyle mix. Okay. If people are feeling jittery, it's probably because there's a little bit of caffeine, not much in the capsules, but there is some. And if they're caffeine naive, then they, may feel some symptoms related to that. So what I'll try to do is, figure out what's going on, and then I'll cut back something. Again, typically it's going to be the capsules or the shake. Those are really the only things that I have ever seen people have an issue with. I mean, maybe a little skin reaction from a DFT on occasion, but for the most part, it's capsules or shake. And so typically what I'll do is cut them back from 2 capsules to 1 if I think it's related to the capsules, or I'll have them go from a full shake to a half shake if I think it's related to the shake. Do that for 2-3 days and then bump them back up, and typically the symptoms are gone. If they're not, sometimes you go a little longer, but I would say in 99% of the cases that's enough.
Yeah, I love that. And you guys get them on 3-way messages, 3-way calls with your leaders, because that's how we can help them during that time. We can help, play around with what they're taking, just like Rob said. Rob had to do it for me. I think it was like day 4. I had this major stomach ache and I was like freaking out on Elise. And Rob was like, well, ask her what she ate last night. And all I had the night before, because I wasn't hungry on Thrive, was like a little bit of spinach dip and a glass of red wine. And Rob was like, well, that's a candida mistake or something like that. I think you called it a candida party. And I'll never forget, Elise was like, well, that's like, Rob said it's like a candida party. I was like, oh. And from that day forward, I waited for a week. I avoided sugar, I avoided alcohol, and I avoided carbs for a week. And I felt absolutely amazing. So, all of us.
The candida die-off is the real thing. It really is. And it's surprising how many people experience, some, or I would say have an issue with candida. Not everyone's going to experience symptoms, but if you're eating processed carbohydrates, if you're eating sugar, if you're drinking alcohol, there's a good chance you have a pretty healthy population of candida in your gut. It's not a beneficial thing in your gut. So once you start taking those good probiotics, they're going to go out.
Yeah.
And you might feel some symptoms.
Yeah, totally true. So Pamela asked this question. She said she thought she saw a post that you did when Sculpt first came out. And for those of you that might be new, Sculpt is our amino acid capsules that are amazing. And she said she thought she saw a post from you that said that you were going to be giving it to your mom. So her question was, how does Sculpt help older people?
So I have some Sculpt right here. This is one of my favorite products. I take it every day still. Basically, this is a branched chain amino acid product. So there are, for just to educate you, I guess, amino acids are basically the building blocks of life. They're the building blocks of all proteins. Our body is run on proteins. Every cell in our body, every metabolic process runs on proteins of some sort. So basically the way that Sculpt works is it's going to provide you with more amino acids than you're probably taking in. And for a lot of people, that's a really big benefit because a lot of us don't get enough protein, in my opinion, especially if you're active. So, that's one of the things I do with a lot of my clients is diet and exercise stuff. And when I interview them and I have them keep a food journal and I look at it, I'm like, whoa, these people are eating like a third of the amount of protein they should. So the benefit of this is in amino acids is that you're getting basically the building blocks of proteins, but it's non-caloric, first of all. There's a number of really good research studies out there that show that it can help you to, it can expedite weight loss, basically. They can help you to achieve more during your workout, but also even though you're maybe working out harder as a result of taking the amino acids, you're getting less muscle breakdown, less fatigue. So you can actually train again more quickly. And I don't know if I'm answering your question directly, but there's a bunch of different benefits of taking amino acids. It's something that I for sure take every day, and I recommend to pretty much all my clients. I do, yes, recommend them to my mom. Older people have a higher protein requirement, actually, and so people think it's the opposite. As you get older, you don't need as much protein, but you actually need more protein, by about 10 to 15% of what you would have. Say, I'm 45, at this age, my mom would need actually more protein. And so again, it's a great way to, number one, help kind of make sure she's getting all the protein requirements she needs, but also we also lose muscle mass and we tend to gain body fat as we age. And Sculpt is a great way to sort of help flip that a little bit. So helps you maintain muscle, which burns more calories at rest, helps you stay leaner and have less body fat. So it's just I think a really great product. And yeah, I recommend it for just about everybody.
How often do you tell people to take Sculpt? Do you tell them to take it 3 times a day, like morning, evening, and then right before workout?
I think it's activity based. So I would say when I'm not working out, I'm going to take it in the morning with my capsules and shake. But if I am working out, I'll usually have a dose at bedtime as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And then let's see. The next question is why? So this is from Erica. And she said, I would love to learn a little bit more about the ingredients, why we have certain ingredients have been chosen. I know it's proprietary, but more about what the almost active ingredients are in the 3 steps, what they do for our body beyond energy, mood, and appetite. That's a really
that's a big one. So yeah, I mean, you can look at the proprietary. I don't know the amounts of those. You'd have to guess. All you get is the list of the proprietary ingredients, then you get a total weight, so number of grams of them, and you'd have to guess at what the relative amounts of them are. I will just say, I mean, I could probably spend 30 or 45 minutes on that question alone. What you have to look at is most people, and this is part of the testing that I do in functional medicine, is looking at people's nutritional status. So I do blood tests. And it looks at, what's your vitamin A, your vitamin B level, your vitamin C, D, omega fatty acids, amino acids, all this stuff. And most people are deficient in typically several vitamins, several amino acids, oftentimes fatty acids. And we can also basically look at a lot of the most common symptoms people have. So like the brain fog, energy problems with, say, mood or putting on weight. A lot of these things tend to be related to consumption of adequate vitamins, minerals, and these cofactors, nutritional cofactors. So basically, I think that the way I look at vitamins, minerals, and supplements in general, there's 2 different ways to go about it. You can use a shotgun approach, which means you just take a bunch of stuff like a multivitamin, multimineral, probiotics, prebiotics like we have here. And it covers, for 99% of people, it covers 99% of their bases. And that's why people feel good. But what you have to remember is that there's a real difference between going to Walmart and buying some chalky multivitamins and buying ones that are made from real food, whole food, plant-based. So, that's why people feel the difference when they're taking the Thrive Experience vitamins versus the, big box store type of vitamin. And I think everybody who's on this Zoom probably has noticed that, they may have taken vitamins, supplements, whatever, for years and never noticed any difference until they started taking the Thrive products. It's true, there's a little bit of caffeine, but the caffeine is not what gives you the energy and not what makes you feel better and makes your head clearer. That's just basically, again, that's that synergism effect. So, when you put the right things together in the right quantities and you augment, things like your typical vitamins and minerals with some really good plant-based nutrients. And I will say, again, from a formulator standpoint, Jason and Paul and the people that they work with to formulate these products, they're literally on the cutting edge of finding the newest, latest, greatest supplement ingredients. And it's not like I've heard Jason say, this isn't the latest berry from the Amazon that's supposed to do this. Like, they're using research-backed ingredients. And I think that it just shows the dedication, because it's not cheap. Like I said, when I was trying to put together a supplement formulation for the orthopedic world, the difference between entry-level products or ingredients versus like what I wanted to do was literally it was tens of thousands of dollars difference for one order. So I think that you just have to remember that there's a quality aspect. And you might say, well, gosh, my Walmart vitamin has more RDA, recommended daily allowance of vitamin A or vitamin B or whatever. But it's not the quantity, it's the quality. So it's sort of a rambling answer. I could go, like I said, on and on to talk to that one specific question, but it's I don't know. That's probably where I should cut it off.
Well, it's funny. I'm getting a million questions in the chat. And I just want to tell you guys that we put up a thing asking if anybody had questions for Rob on the team page. So I already have all of our questions for tonight, because we're only keeping Rob for 30 minutes. I've got like one or two more, and then we're going to let him go. But don't worry. I'm going to beg him to come back, you guys. We can make this like a once a month or every other month thing. So just hold on to your questions. Maybe next time we'll just have people unmute and ask questions, because they are like filling up the chat, Rob, with like, oh my gosh, I want to know about this and that. So we'll have them back.
I think this is fun. So yeah, we'll do it again.
Good. Well, one of the biggest questions that I got asked, a couple of people sent me messages, and we also had this on the team page, was about our new product, Biotic, because it's still a little confusing for people. Even for me, I love Biotic. I'm taking 2 every single night. It's been huge for me. I started at the end of chemo, and it was amazing for me. But people are wondering, like, how are you taking Biotic? If you are you also still taking Balance? And if you can give any info on that.
So I have not taken Biotic yet. And I've never taken Balance, because I've just always been regular. I've never needed to.
Amazing.
But what I will say is, if you look at, I've looked at the ingredients for Biotic, and if you were to compare, like, basically the way that you measure probiotics, it's in CFUs, colony forming units. So you're looking for a certain number, and off the top of my head, I don't remember the number in the lifestyle mix versus Biotic, but you're basically looking at your lifestyle mix packet, and you have all these different ingredients, all these plant-based vitamins, minerals, other ingredients, plus the probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes. So you're getting a smaller quantity overall because of everything else that's in there in the lifestyle mix of the probiotics. Research has sort of evolved to show that higher doses of probiotics, beneficial bacteria, lead to better population of the gut. Otherwise, it's sort of a transient population. And so basically what I have seen from just comparing the products online is that Biotic has a much, much higher level of the colony forming units compared to what you would get in the lifestyle mix. So it's basically a standalone, much higher quantity of the probiotics.
Love it. Great explanation. Is Elise taking Biotic?
I don't think so. She's down in the desert, so I don't know what she's taking these days.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And this is our last question. And don't worry, you guys, do not kill me. I promise I'll beg Rob to come back. Okay. Everybody's like, we need to know this and this and this. But last question is, what is your favorite product from the Plus line?
I would say the one that I've been taking the longest is Boost. I take Boost every single day. I love Boost. I think I credit it with basically keeping me healthy and not getting sick. I mean, I've maybe been sick once or twice in 7 years, honestly, just like a minor little, sniffles type thing. And I noticed that right away once. I don't know, maybe it wasn't 7 years because I guess it didn't come out right away when I started, but 5 years or whatever, ever since Boost came out, I basically have not gotten sick. And I really, give it a lot of credit for that. It's hard to choose just one. Can I give a few more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, like you said, I work out almost every day. I do the Thrive Fit products. I think they're awesome. I also try to eat a lot of protein. As I mentioned, protein is really important, especially if you are working out or if you're active. And so I think, the Thrive Pro bars are great, as are the Thrive Bites jerky, just for having a simple protein source around anytime. I'm never tempted to eat junk food. I have literally bags and bags of jerky and boxes of protein bars in my pantry. I have them in my car. I have them in my gym bag. If I'm ever tempted to have a snack, I just grab one of those, and I know I'm getting something that's good for me. So those would be maybe my top 3 favorites.
That's actually such a good, I totally forgot about our Thrive Bites, but you guys, if you are skiers or you're active hikers or anything like that, that's something we always bring with us whenever we go out west in the summer and we go hiking. We always bring Thrive Bites. And I forgot to send them with my kids last week to Utah because I didn't get to go skiing with them. But that's usually something we bring, the Thrive Pro bars and the bites. So that's such a good reminder to make sure we're using that. And do you add your Boost to your lifestyle mix?
I do.
That's what we do.
Yep.
Yeah, us too. So good, you guys. If you guys have not tried that, it tastes amazing with the chocolate or the vanilla lifestyle mix.
If you want to make it even better, add an Activate as well. Although I will say the only Activate that tastes good in that mix, chocolate lifestyle mix, Boost, and then the original cherry Activate. If you go mango or watermelon, it's not good.
Yeah. I can't even imagine needing extra caffeine I'm like bouncing off the walls after the 3 steps every day. But yeah, Amy said Boostivate. Yep. We all used to that. I just don't really ever need it, but it's amazing.
I don't take Activate much anymore, but the Boost every single day with my lifestyle mix. Yeah.
Do you use Form, Rob? This will be our last question. Sorry, but I use Form every other day because I have to have a large amount of protein right now.
I go through periods where I use it every day and then I run out and I maybe just don't have any on hand and I don't use it. But I think it's a great product for sure. That'd be another thing that I would say would be similar to the Pro Bars or the Thrive Bites would be Form. Yeah. I like it. I think they taste good. They're a great energy gel. A lot of people use energy gels when they're out on the trails, skiing or mountain biking or something. And I bring Forms with me a lot of the time because they're just really portable and they taste great when you're tired and you're sweating.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's so much, you guys, if you want to know more and you want to research so that you can talk educated to other people, I've learned so much from Dr. Josh Axe, A-X-E. If you guys don't know who he is, he's amazing. But he talks a lot about collagen protein and bone protein, and you guys can learn a lot about that from him. And Form, you guys, is top notch for that. I have researched so much over the last 4 months about this because I've had to have a lot of extra protein, and you don't want to eat a lot when you're going through chemo. And so that was something, Erica, Dr. Josh Axe, you got it. All right, Rob, anything else you want to tell us? Anything else any info you want to give us before you go? And I'm going to send you a text tonight asking when you can be back. So be ready.
Well, first of all, this is really fun. I love this sort of thing. So I'll commit right now to coming back for sure. I love questions. I spent a lot of time gaining the knowledge I have in general, but also specific to Thrive. And I'm happy to share it. So I'd love to come back and do this again.
Thank you so much, Rob. All right, you guys, make sure you tag Rob on social media. Rob, it's just Rob Leininger on Instagram, right? I don't know your Instagram handle.
Yeah, at Rob Leininger. Yep.
Okay, perfect. You guys go find him, send him a message. And if you guys ever have specific questions, you can ask Rob. He is so amazing, always kind, never says no. So ask him and he'll get back to you as soon as he can. If he's not skiing or mountain biking or all the awesome things that he's doing, he'll get back to you. So thanks, Rob, for being on tonight. Can't wait to see you probably next month or in a couple weeks.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks. Good to see everybody that I already know and to see some new faces as well. And everyone take care. We'll do this again soon.
Thanks, Rob. Good night, you guys. Bye.